top thing fixed. I think I'm gonna go into my office and just take it to IT and see what the heck's going on.
We are live now. All right. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the holiday season. I work in the mail industry. I normally go put on get a shirt out the drawer, iron it, throw on a t-shirt. You getting off the clock, A1 right now. So we not doing the intro. We here. You rocking with us or you not?
Mail industry is just kind of wild though. Like that's just like I feel like you should say like the postal service, like delivery. I work in a mail room or something. I mean, just I work in the mail industry is kind of crazy.
Listen, you see this shirt. Does this look like Magic Mike's shirt to you? Does this look like a Magic Mike get up to you? No, this is not a Magic Mike get up. I work in the mailing industry, the mail, MAIL industry.
You just walk up to bachelorette parties and be like, so does anybody want to learn Excel? About PowerPoint?
No, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's your boys. It's A1, it's A-Ward. It's a black and white thing, man. Y'all know where y'all can get the podcast, wherever you find a good podcast. Give us 5 stars. Leave a comment. You can also check us out live on YouTube. Search at Brains and Bars. Hit the like. Hit the notification button. Or actually, let me start over. Hit the like, subscribe, then hit the notification button so you can tap in every time we go live, every time new content drops on the channel. Speaking of,
man, all right, keep going. We're good. I'm gonna get it working.
This week in the NBA dropped on Tuesday. Go check that out. It's the second edition of that. I hope to have that out weekly on either Monday or Tuesday. I'll give you a recap of everything that happened in the week that was in the NBA and the week that is to come in the league. And I appreciate people for tapping in. I appreciate the feedback I've gotten from it. I've gotten a couple of people have subscribed. They were like, yo, I didn't know about Detroit. I didn't know about Houston. I didn't know about this, that, and the third. So that is the point of the show, is to put you up on game.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mama Ward in the building. We are at the end of the battle rap year, Mama Ward. So there's not a bunch of battle rap news to talk about, discuss. Obviously, we did an episode last week, strictly battle rap. We talked about your 2025. Loso Joint pulled up, talked about his 2025, the hit list for 2026. So go to the channel. You can check that out. I think it's the second newest drop from the channel. But yeah, man, we're here to talk football. We're here to we come to praise the Chiefs, not to bury them, to paraphrase a line from Julius Caesar. Go read books. Let me tell y'all, real quick aside. Reading books is how you get smarter, people. I appreciate YouTube. I love YouTube. YouTube is great. Netflix is great. Read a book. I assume when you say something stupid on the internet that you don't read books. Read print media, read the New York Times, Washington Post, blogs, Medium, Substack's got a bunch of great bunch of great authors, Go get hard copy books, go get soft cover, Audible. I'm not a read to you, have somebody read to me type guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
read the Bible. Go read the Bible.
Read your Bible.
Right, we can segue out of that one. Let's go.
Yeah, man, just read, y'all. Reading is important, and I promise you. But anyway,
speaking of Andy Reid,
say it again.
Speaking of Andy Reid,
I like that. Yeah, let's get into it, man. Like, we're talking about all things Chiefs. I made a bet when the Chiefs it's probably around week 7 or week 8. I made a bet with the homie Dre, and I said he was like every Chiefs fan. We've been here before. We're going to get out of this. We're making the playoffs. We're probably going to the Super Bowl. We're better than our record. And I said, look, man, y'all record is what it is. Like, you are who you are. You're not making the playoffs because of all the things that were going against you. We made a bet, and I haven't collected on that bet yet. I don't think I am, because I don't want to see the Chiefs' demise. But here we are. They're out of the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes has torn his ACL. He's out for an indefinite period of time. So I don't know how long he's going to be out. Don't want to say what that will be. But Your reaction to last week's loss, we'll start there. Your reaction to last week's loss that officially, yes, Chris, officially eliminated the Chiefs from the playoffs.
I think for me, it's one of those things that you know how it is when you have your favorite team. You just hope. You hope. And there was a lot of hope, but for weeks, I think since the loss to the Texans. Well, so that would have been a week or 2 weeks before, right? This Chargers game.
The Texans was the week before, right? Because it was Colts, Texans, then Chargers.
Okay. All right. Yep, they snuck out the win against the Colts, right? Lost to the Texans. Yeah. I think you pretty much knew all season that if somebody could find a way to sneak in the playoffs, it would be Andy Reid, Mahomes, and the Chiefs. But it's just like it just was different. It was a lot different this year, watching him tear his ACL really, really sucked. I mean, that they're already like they weren't beat. I mean, we could have tied the game, could have went down there and won the game. I get it. You're playing to keep those hopes alive or whatever. But ultimately, man, I almost wish that we would have just been getting blown out. And I almost wish that before this week we would have already been eliminated, like from the playoff contention, because that sucks. I think we've seen one person, Adrian Peterson, maybe like tear an ACL, and for some reason was like 4.5 months later, right back to it. I don't, but yeah, just a not good team. It's a not good team, and you're not used to seeing that, But what you're seeing is two of your guys, two of your dogs. I think you're seeing them father time caught up with them this year in Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Just two guys that you could always rely on to get that pass deflection, to get that pass, the pass rush on Josh Allen in the playoffs when he misses the touchdown throw, the Kelce catch that's gonna shoot like plays that that make or break games, that make or break seasons. Like you lost those guys, and then you just saw some guys that you have expected over the last couple of years to become somebody. Like to me, like a George Karlaftis or even a Jalen Watson or some of the guys in the second. They're just not. I mean, they're serviceable.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking right now at this Rams defense, bro, and like Byron Young and Jared Verse would be like the best player on the Chiefs defense. The two rookies for the Falcons, James Pierce Jr. and that Walker dude, would be the best player on the Chiefs defense. And like these other teams have two of them that they've drafted in the last 2 years, and we're still trying to figure out if Karlaftis, if Leo Chanel, if some of these guys, and it's like, oh, well, we won Super Bowls with them before. No, you won Super Bowls with like prime Mahomes, Kelce, Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, the other guy that we traded away, it turned out to be a great trade.
Oh yeah, L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, some of those guys. So yeah, it's disappointing. I think it's more disappointing because that time during the year. Well, usually it's in the month of April when you're like, all right, we know what the Royals are going to be. We can casually just pay attention to them for the rest of the year. Like that's like how like in my mind I'm like, am I gonna watch the Chiefs game like these next 3 games? Like what am I doing? Is there something better to do? Like I might get around to it.
Man, listen, I have not been to Arrowhead Stadium. I think I told this story on the podcast before. I have not been to Arrowhead Stadium since 2018, Mahomes' first season as a starter. We went to the home opener. It was against San Francisco, and we got tickets for, I think, $270 total. Now, mind you, we're still sitting up high, but still.
3 tickets,
seat.
right?
3 tickets.
Yeah,
$270.
Nice. Yeah, that's nice.
I said to myself, we're going to make this a tradition. We're going to go every year to the home opener as a family. And I opened up, it was either StubHub or Ticketmaster to look at tickets, and it was $270 a person next year. I went and just happened to look up what Chiefs tickets are going for now. Oh, seats are available.
Listen,
you can.
They're going for like just call your friend. They're trying to get rid of him. Like the most sad part about this is a Christmas game, people plan for that all year. Like hey, if we're going to the game on Christmas, we're not doing Christmas this year. And a Broncos Christmas game and probably a $500 ticket, you know what I mean, that you spent, and now you might not even be able to get $50 for that ticket.
Bro, listen. The Christmas schedule for the NFL. Now, mind you, people are degenerates and meatheads, so it's still going to pull up a huge number. But on paper, Cowboys and Commanders.
Terrible.
Lions and Vikings, depending on which J.J. McCarthy shows up.
At least the Lions, the Lions are still in playoff contention. So
true. And then the final game, the nightcap, the game that you were expecting to carry you into the evening, Broncos at Chiefs.
They should be able to flex that stuff.
They should flex Lions and Vikings into the nightcap and make the Chiefs and the Broncos play at 3. That's a terrible lineup. It's an awful lineup. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't excite me at all.
Well, only one game is got playoff. I mean, are the Vikings out of playoff contention too?
Vikings are eliminated. So the Lions. So
you only have 2 teams that are of the 6 that are even in playoff. So yeah.
Yeah. And so it's not interesting. Listen. You're probably going to disagree with this statement, but it doesn't matter to me. I am the most objective person when it comes to, I don't want to say, I'll say it. I'm the most objective person you're ever going to meet when it comes about sports. I love my teams, but I don't pull any punches about my teams. If I feel like they're not carrying their weight, I have no problem saying that. I have no bias towards my team being right. If they do wrong, they mess up, I call them out on messing up. If I feel like someone screwed them over, I'll say that. So it brings me no joy to be right about the Chiefs. But there was an arrogance about how this team operates that they felt like it's worked in the past, it'll work later. I think the team, I think the organization, the players all felt like we'll flip a switch. We're the Chiefs. We're going to turn it on at any time, and we're going to make a run and do what we always did. We started out. There was so much talk about, well, this happened to them last year, or this happened to them X years ago, and I'm like, but guys, that's last year. Things have changed.
Yeah,
you have reached the mountaintop, and you have gotten comfortable at that mountaintop, and you have not paid attention to the fact that other people are scaling that mountain. And they're coming up to kick you off your perch.
Yeah, that trade deadline, not doing anything at that trade deadline was just like abysmal.
They needed, again, I think I said this in real time.
I don't know how much it changes. I don't know what they grab. If they can grab, a running back or a defense player or whatever, if it changes anything heavily. But it's think another testament to what you're saying is them thinking like, we're good.
I think if they go get an edge rusher, I forget who the kid, Jalen Phillips, right? I think he's in Philly now.
Yep. He went from Miami to Philly. Yep.
Getting Jalen Phillips, that's probably one win. Because there were games where the Cowboy game, Dak had time to cook a whole meal in the pocket with no pressure. You had to blitz him, and because you had to blitz, Dak is a good enough quarterback, and he was diagnosing it. He saw it coming, and he would just get rid of the ball before anyone could get home. And he got weapons. And he's got weapons, right? And so there's been an arrogance from this team that our guys got it. Our scheme will fix it. We'll turn it on, and we'll make the playoffs, and it finally caught up to them. Yeah. And I want to ask you this question because I've seen this going around for a while. So real quick before I get that, shout to Topspin. Topspin says safety's been weak from the beginning. Spags, we saw this when what was the name of Willie Gay was here, right? And I forget the name of Ben Neiman. When Ben Neiman was there, we all knew that Ben Neiman did not have what
49, right? Yeah, number 49.
No, you're thinking of, well, he got washed out too. That was the safety.
Okay.
I can see I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name.
Started like an S, I think. Sorensen.
Dan Sorensen.
Yeah.
So Ben Neiman, Dan Sorensen. Dan Sorensen was washed. He couldn't play anymore. It was time to move on from him, but they didn't have a backup. But Ben Neiman was getting burned when you had Willie Gay on the bench. And people were screaming for Willie Gay to get into the game, screaming for Willie Gay to get burned, and he was coming in sporadically, and he stuck with Neiman to the detriment of the offense, or to the detriment of the defense. That's what I talk about, that arrogance, that my way is right. That's what I'm talking about. And listen, winning breeds that type of delusion and arrogance, because it's all, like you said, it's always worked. It's always been your thing. But the question I was going to ask, because I've seen this thrown around a lot, is the Chiefs dynasty over?
I would say this much. The question is to ask is, if they win a Super Bowl next year, is it still a dynasty? So instead of asking you, is it over now? Ask yourself, if they came back, comeback player of the year, won a Super Bowl next year, are you still within the realm? Do you feel like you're still within the realms of what they've started since 2019?
Yes. So the question,
so to me, yes, to me, it's contingent upon another year. I don't know. Did we? You've seen all the graphics. Tom Brady tore his ACL in his 9th season after 3 Super Bowls. Do they look at the Patriots as 2 separate dynasties? Is it 2? Is it accumulation of? We know. I was about to call him Sam Cassell. Matt Castle. Look, they definitely look completely different. But yes, Matt Castle. He comes in, he plays the season, whatever. I don't think the dynasty's over until you're just like completely disconnected from that era. But I'll say this much: there's different ways to be disconnected from an era.
Okay.
Losing players, right? Like, you have a tight end that retires at the end of this year. That's part of a disconnect. Not making the playoffs is part of a disconnect. Like there are things that are kind of like, oh, this is a new team. There might be some coaching changes at the end of this year. Oh, this is a new team. This is a new era. This is a new, and that might cause it. But I think that if something happened and they turn around and won a Super Bowl next year, that we're still talking about 4 Super Bowls in 7 years.
So I feel like the Patriots dynasty was talked about as being done when Brady left. When his final game of his Patriots career ended with an interception, I believe, by Logan Ryan of the Titans to close out that playoff game against Tennessee. Okay. And at that point, the reporting was that this was his last season, that the Patriots were likely not going to re-sign him. At that point, we said, you saw the epitaph put on. It was from 2000 to 2000. I think that was the 20 season. Or 2019, 2020 season, right? And people said, hey, it was an amazing run. 20 years. We'll never see anything like this again. And now that the Chiefs, essentially a year later, start their run, now people are just so quickly to move on to the next thing. And I'm like, well, they're not done.
Yeah, but you also know, like, that so quickly is a generational, now we're into everything is so quickly to move. Right? Yeah. We're so quickly to move away from Peyton Manning threw more interceptions than any other quarterback his freaking rookie year. If he did that this year, he would be back up to Gardner Minshew to start next year. You know what I mean? Like,
True. But I guess here's my problem, though. This is my problem with a lot of sports media. All of the dynasties over talk is alive now. But let's just say, maybe not next year, because I don't see the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl next year. But let's just say in 2027, Mahomes comes back. He's now, a year removed from this ACL injury. He's back. He's doing his thing, and they win a Super Bowl. You know what they're going to say? They'll act like they never said the dynasty was over. And
absolutely.
You thought they were dead. You thought they were done. They're blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
If you don't remember, Brady didn't win every one. There was seasons he didn't win, and missing the playoffs is tough because I think Brady never did that.
Technically the only season I have to go back and look. I know the season he tore his ACL. I thought there was one more. I thought it was twice.
They still made the playoffs. No, Matt
no,
Castle
they didn't make it that year. They went 10-6, but they just missed out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was twice though. Yeah, Brady missed the playoffs twice in his entire career and only once when he was a full-time starter. So one of those didn't count when he was injured, obviously with the ACL. I mean, technically, if you want to be technical, Patrick Mahomes has not missed the playoffs in any year where he started all 17 games.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say he's full-time starter, right?
Yeah, he's a full-time starter. But no, I don't think the dynasty's over. The dynasty is over for me when Patrick Mahomes leaves, right? Because at some point, Andy Reid's not going to be here the entire time. I'm gonna stand on what I said because I was talking about this in another group. I said the dynasty is done when Reid and Mahomes are no longer connected. When there is a new coach, to me, that is when that dynasty is over. So if Andy Reid chooses to retire after this year, then I might be more inclined to say the dynasty is over.
I'm not sure about that because what if Andy Reid retires on top? Like, what happens if they win a Super Bowl and Andy Reid's like, that's my last year? Nobody's saying the dynasty's over because Andy Reid's gone. If we bring in, all of a sudden Shane Steichen or something, I don't know who's a big time coach right now. Who's like the next. I don't know. I don't pay attention to too many of them. But.
Listen. There's a reason why Matt Nagy was being seen as a potential head coaching candidate. There's nobody in the pipeline right now. Whoever gets hired if there's going to be a first-time head coach, it's going to be somebody we didn't know about this time right now. It's going to be someone who bubbles up through the interview process that just gets a shot because I don't know a name right now.
I do. Marcus Freeman. Come on over to the Chiefs, Marcus.
Ward, do not make me drive over to your house and put my hands on you. Like
I know we're talking about the Chiefs, but Puka Nacua has had a terrible week.
Yo, so Iller sent me the story of his brother.
Stole a car, yeah. Stole the Lakers kid's car.
Yeah, bro. The story was so wild to me. Like, now granted, Iller is like highly respected. Like, he's not into fake news, not into the story. He hasn't verified himself. He obviously works in the news industry, so he gets it. But it was so wild that I still went and Googled it because I couldn't believe this is a real story. Then when he had that, then he got on the live with Aiden Ross. And
then he got on a stream talking about he couldn't afford to buy a house.
Well, he also got
his PR team took PTO for the holidays or something. And they were just like, hey, yo, watch your little brother. And it was like, no, I don't know what happened.
Bro, but I guess he did some type of anti-Semitic
thing,
I had to go. I didn't even know what that was. I had to go look it up. I'm like, wait, y'all got mad at him because he did the Birdman hand rub? Like, that's what I thought they was talking about at first.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Then he had to think about the refs. Like, there's literally.
The refs wanted to be on TV. Listen, my man he's had one crazy week.
Yeah.
One crazy week. But yeah, man, but I don't know. I don't think the dynasty's done. I think there is a lot. There's, again, here's what I said about the Andy Reid retiring. I think whoever they bring in, the philosophy is going to be so different, right? Unless they bring in the Andy Reid disciple, like Eric Bieniemy. Although, again, I think Eric Bieniemy, in terms of coaching style, is going to be an abrupt departure from Reid. So I don't know who you bring in that continues that same style of leadership, that same style of play calling. Like, they're going to want to put their own spin on things. And that's why I say I think if they're not together anymore, to me, that's where you can say there's a line of demarcation in terms of the Chiefs dynasty. Shout out to the homie Lowe's. He said putting the mic in front of some people is their biggest downfall. Listen, there's a question about somebody sent me a question about Michael Jordan that I'm going to put into the show for this week in the NBA, but they asked the question to say something like, would Michael Jordan still be as big a star in today's era as he was back then? And I'm like, well, absolutely, he would be.
He'd be a lot more hated.
Probably. But I think the question I had about his question was, what does Michael Jordan look like in 2025 as an NBA star? Right? Because the brand of Jordan was built off of mystery. We only knew about his exploits on the court. We didn't know about his personal life. We didn't know how he kicked it off the court. There were rumors of how he kicked it off the court, but there was nothing that was substantiated. And so, like, I just don't know, I don't know what Michael would look like if you have a 24/7 news cycle and you got social media. Is he on social media? Is he in the limelight still? I don't think he would be, just given how he kicks it. But yeah, man, it's interesting. All right. So you brought this up. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but Patrick is out. I know Nick Wright made mention of Patrick is trying to come back for the start of the 2026 season. I'm not going to ask that question. I'm going to ask you this. Should Mahomes play at all in 2026, or should he take the entire season off?
I mean, it's all based on rehab. For me, I think that if you're only going to miss maybe the first quadrant of games, like 4, then I'm saying come back. Anything more than that, I just don't think it's worth it. Outside of for some reason, being 3-1 or 4-1 or something like that, I just don't think I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I think sitting out, but I mean, be honest, like if Mahomes doesn't play next year, Kelsey's not coming back, right?
I don't think Kelsey should come back. If Mahomes somehow was the medical marvel of all medical marvels and pulled a Adrian Peterson, right, and was ready to go week 1, Travis Kelce needs to retire. Respectfully, it's over. It's done, and it's only going to get worse. So yeah. I get it. You didn't want to end off a Super Bowl loss. You didn't want to end off not making the playoffs. But at a certain point, you got to realize that Father Time has tapped you on the shoulders and said,
"Hey, well, no. Let's be honest, though. He's okay, and this is going to be wild coming from me, right?
Okay.
He's really only gone from like a Gronk to a Witten. So statistically, he's still putting up the numbers, and he's a safe tight end in the little spots and stuff. He's obviously just catching a ball first down. There's not anything, you know what I mean? But statistically, he's still putting up top 10, if I believe, tight end numbers in the NFL.
Yeah, but I also think we're talking about a tight end position that has been diminished to a degree. You don't have. So I saw, like, fantasy wise, who was the tight end who got lost for the season?
Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft, like, I think is still like top 3 in fantasy stats.
I think that was fake news, but he is up there though. Yes, I saw the same thing.
My bad.
And I saw it too. And the reason it shouldn't have been fake news is because Sleeper's Twitter, their official Twitter, posted it. But there was a context piece that they were leaving out, or something to that extent. But okay. I saw it too because people were just like, "Come on, you can literally just click on his stuff." But yeah.
So I just think the position is a little bit diminished. I think they're asking tight ends to be more of a hybrid blocking and like the receiving tight end is not quite out of vogue. I just think they're asking them now to do more blocking and not as much on the receiving end of things. Maybe that stuff ebbs and flows because I do think the running game's making its return as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, shout out to Los. He said Kelsey's done. Go get Pitts. Listen, I'm never going to stop believing in Kyle Pitts, and I believe Kyle Pitts in the Andy Reid offense would be great. But yeah, like Travis, I think he's supposed to get married to Taylor Swift. Go get married. Go be a family man. Go do. You got a $100 million podcast rating on you.
Yes, he's a shell of himself, but he still has put together an efficient year for a tight end. The only reason why we think he needs to get married and ride off in the sunset is because he's not what he used to be. We're comparing him to him. Like, you can't compare him to the rest of the NFL because statistically he's up there with the young guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these stats right now. He is tied for second in yards. Let's see. He is 5th in receptions. Trey McBride is,
first off, he's having like the greatest year of a tight end of all time, and it's very attainable for him to break a lot of records.
Yeah, I don't know if Kelsey holds the records for most receptions, but Trey McBride is at 105.
No, Zach Ertz does, and it's 116, and he has 3 games to go.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you for that. 105. He is, let's see, he is third. I'm sorry. He's second in yards. He's tied with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, sneaky good year, by the way. 73, 790, 797, and 4. 5 touchdowns. Yard after catch. He's actually third in tight ends.
Really?
Yeah. Average depth of target. He's 6.78 yards, 72% catch percentage. It doesn't look bad, but I guess I just remember how Jason Witten ended, and it just seemed like it was 4 yards and turn around. And I just don't want to see Kelsey going out like that. And you don't have Mahomes. Like, I don't know who would you go target at quarterback for the Chiefs next year? Granted, knowing that you won't have Mahomes for at least the first 6.
We already talked about this. Come on. We need Jameis Winston, bro. We need freaking Jameis Winston, bro. If you're going to bring somebody in, mind you, what does that look like, bringing in a quarterback that you know for a fact you are here for to start, let's say, 4 to 6 games, or to start 1 year and we're pretty much done with you?
Yeah,
what type of situation does that look like? Is there a way that you can go get Davis Mills?
So speaking of that, right, you brought up Jameis. The Giants do have a potential out where they can cut him, but he is under contract for 2 years. I would assume with the way that Jackson Dart, you know how we talked about quarterback as athlete, the way he plays the position like an athlete playing quarterback and not a quarterback who also is an athlete. So with the fact that he suffered 4 concussions,
they said
many games?
Was it every game or every other game that he's played? He's been in the blue tent.
It might be every game. Like,
you're lagging quite a bit. Just let you know. I just want to let you know you're lagging quite a bit. So I don't know if you.
Okay. Hold on. Can I remove myself and come back? How about now? Am I good?
Yeah, you're really good now.
Check. All right, cool. I have like 8 billion tabs open right now.
Of course, right after I said that.
So let me see.
Nope.
How about now? Nope.
No.
I think I'm good now. I don't think. Okay. Davis Mills is also under contract for 2 years. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's Gardner Minshew's show. Maybe you got to roll with Gardner again. I don't know if you make a trade for a Jameis. You can probably get like a 6th, 7th round pick for him. Potentially.
A what?
6th. 6, 7. But you could probably get a late round pick for him. But I'll say this. I asked the question on the show a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the Chiefs, and I said, has Andy Reid lost a step? Right? I asked that question not because I think he has, but I do have some concerns. I think you saw those hits that the Chargers were putting on Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton. Part of that is because they know what you're calling, right? How often in the NFL game do you see a hit like that happen? It's not. You don't see people get blown up like that often these days, and it happened 3 times in one game. And Rashee Rice, I mean, for a guy who got in trouble for getting in a car wreck in Dallas, he got in probably a worse car wreck in those 2 games than he suffered over the summer. They're triggering because they know what you're calling. They know what the plays are. And so with no Mahomes, and much of the Chiefs offense was 15 go save us, 15 go make a play, that offense has to change because you won't have that element in your offense to start the season. And with him coming off an ACL injury, whatever offense you install for your less athletic, less non-baseball background quarterback, unless you go get Russell Wilson.
Hey.
Unless you go get Russell Wilson. I'm just saying. But that offense needs to be suited for Mahomes. And so to me, we're really going to find out if Andy Reid has lost a step, because if this offense looks the same with a different quarterback to start the season, there have been lots of calls for Andy to be fired. I think they're foolish. I think that is unfounded. I think that is way overboard.
Yeah.
But if this offense looks bad again, you might have to think about parting ways with him and not letting him retire. Yes, they definitely shot to be says we need a big receiver. All of them are the same type. I've been saying this for years. You need to go get a big body receiver, man. Although Rashee Rice isn't a small guy. Rashee Rice he's probably legit 6 feet. But you need somebody who's 6'2", who you can go throw the ball up to and let them go get it. Some fade routes and back shoulder throws.
I also don't think Mahomes really trusts that kind of offense. Like, I mean, when they had DeAndre Hopkins, they didn't throw it up like that. And then he turns around, where does he go? Back somewhere else, and he's making, for the Ravens, he's making catch after catch.
He's not making that many big plays.
Yeah, I was saying, like, I just think that the style of play, for me, watching Mahomes, even as of recently, and it always comes down to the offensive line. The last 4 games, the way I've watched Mahomes has been the same way he played in the Super Bowl. Zero confidence in his offensive line, won't stay in the pocket, immediately, like within the first progression, is already trying to move around, jump somewhere, roll out, and buy time until he could find somebody he could hit across the field on a route that wasn't called in the first place.
But again, I think that speaks to Andy not adjusting the offense to what's in front of him, right?
And I think that's what you're saying is basically like losing a step. It's just the fact that like you said, the arrogance, they refuse to evolve. They refuse to seem like, and it's like, I don't think you guys understand. These teams have lost to you all the time for 6 years. You don't think that in the offseason they're thinking about how to beat only you, not the other 16 teams on their schedule. The final exam, the final exam, it's like, well, okay, 50% of your grade is the essay, 10% is multiple choice. 90% of their final exam in the offseason is beating the Chiefs. 10% is the rest of their schedule. It's like that's what they're, our division opponents are doing. And other opponents, the Bills and the Bengals and the other teams that are going to see us in the playoffs. And it's like, I don't think he got it. And so that's the thing is like, you have to be constantly evolving. You have to be able to keep them on their heels. And you're right. Like, he probably hasn't lost a step in what they're calling and what they're doing. He's probably doing it just the same way he has always done. But in that is why it's been not as efficient.
Yeah. And so let me say this, though. Let me make a statement about the state of the NFL right now. I am sad that the Chiefs are not in the playoffs. I think whether you, to quote the great philosopher Kanye West, whether you hate or love the Chiefs, at least you feel something. And I think nationally they move the needle, right? The game against the Cowboys, I think, is the highest rated regular season game, I think, of all time now. At Thanksgiving. And great teams make for entertaining football. Whether you watch them, what makes the Cowboys so fun to watch is that you have an opinion on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You have whether you love or hate them or in between. And not having no Lamar potentially, I think maybe the Ravens probably get a wild card spot, maybe. Potentially no Lamar Jackson, because I think they're out of the playoffs as it stands today. No Chiefs.
No Joe Burrow.
No Joe Burrow. You have a bunch of quarterbacks who are unproven, who we don't know. We don't know who's good. You look in the AFC, Buffalo's up and down. The Chargers are super banged up, but they got Herbert. Trevor Lawrence, thanks for nothing for putting up 43 points in fantasy when I've had you in like 3 leagues and now I'm eliminated. But great job. He's up and down. I'm trying to think who else. I don't know if Bo Nix is good.
Drake May
has played one of the easiest schedules. And then, granted, they were up 21 on the Bills, but as fast as they were up 21 zip, they got into a dogfight that they actually lost. I think the future, CJ Stroud, okay, cool. The future, I think, is bright, but there are no great quarterbacks. And you look in the NFC, the Rams, flashes of greatness, but then there's also the stinker against the Panthers. The Niners, if the Niners were fully healthy, there's your great team, but they're not healthy on defense. So, and they're a little bit of fool's gold. Caleb, now listen, I don't know if you saw the touchdown throw he threw to DJ.
It's
crazy.
Nice.
I mean, but still, there's just a lot of uncertainty. And no matter what you felt about the Chiefs, you knew they were great. You knew that if you got into a dogfight with the Chiefs, that you were, and then Mahomes got that ball last, you were on the edge of your seat if you were a team that rooted against them, because more times than not, that guy comes through and the data backs that up. And you don't have that now. You got Josh Allen for sure, but Josh Allen get a little bit of that YOLO in him too. And he's being similar to Mahomes. He's being asked to carry a lot of the load. And so I just don't know if we got those great teams, man.
We definitely don't have great teams. And I think there are just a handful of teams that, whether it's offense, defense, or coach, you're like, you know what? I think they can get them that playoff win, And I think when you look at the Texans and the Broncos defense, you're like, Bo Nix and CJ Stroud don't have to be that guy for them to get a win in the playoffs. The Broncos also benefit from having Sean Payton, who's been there before. DeMeco Ryans I think DeMeco Ryans is a very good coach.
Absolutely.
For the Bills, it's just Josh Allen. I don't have there's nothing else, not even the coach. I'll be honest with
James
you.
Cook. I give James Cook.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, he's the guy that it's like, if they win, it's because he willed them, But even like the Eagles, they've been there before, but the defense is banged up. The offense is and like you say, all these other teams are just, hey, Ben Johnson's first year, Caleb Williams, Green Bay, who knows who they are. So there's definitely a lot of teams. I'll say the Rams, I know you have a stinker, but you have a team that just won a Super Bowl, within the last 5 years?
Yes.
With the same coach, the same quarterback, and two crazy good defensive ends, and nice skill players. So I do think the Rams deserve being able to be like the front runners, but that you're like, I think the Broncos defense and the Texans defense, like, they're scary when it comes to, because you have those unproven quarterbacks.
Yeah. And so I want to run this by you too. I think so much of the rhetoric in the NFL has been, you find your quarterback and you're set for the next 10 years. Right? But if you look at, I think we spent so much time collectively arguing about, is Jalen Hurts a top 10 quarterback? Where does he rank amongst the quarterbacks of trying to find his place? And to his credit, he normally turns up in the postseason. He normally plays better. He's been excellent in 2 Super Bowls. I think we gloss over the fact that, he's got a team around him.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the Broncos, that's a nice team around Bo Nix. You look at CJ Stroud. You look at all these, what Daniel Jones was doing before he got hurt. Seattle, Green Bay. I think if you look at all these teams, it is a really good team that has been built around them to where you don't have to be Superman.
Not at all.
For 60 minutes. You
Didn't Davis Mills get a few wins? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Davis Mills
went 3-1. He either went 2-1 or 3-1.
Yeah.
So what they're asking of Bo Nix, hey Bo, don't be stupid. And to his credit, he doesn't have a bunch of turnovers. He doesn't make a bunch of.
He might lead the league in dropped interceptions, though. I think he might. I've seen some.
So, and I do wonder if you have a team like that, if Josh Allen doesn't win the chip, if a Bo Nix led Denver team, if a Houston Texans, a Jordan Love, if one of those teams wins a chip, will this force teams to not invest so heavily in, we got to have a quarterback, which I'm not saying you don't, but I think the search for the franchise quarterback is so overhyped that it causes you to lose focus of, these guys need, like you talked about Mahomes at the end, these guys need a team. He was down to a third string right tackle, third string left tackle, second string right tackle. Trey Smith had been in and out of the lineup. Suamata-Ia had been in and out of the lineup. And I think part of that breakdown with this offense in particular is that offensive line started to get injured. Josh Simmons took a leave of absence for 4 weeks. Once that was kind of the first Jenga piece. Once that got pulled out of place, everything else started to crumble around him.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if that would cause teams to think differently about the position. If you have a quarterback who's not considered a top 10 consensus guy win a chip. So,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll ask you this about 2026. Do you think if Mahomes, let's just say he comes back week 8, do you think the Chiefs make the playoffs in 2026 if he only plays half a season?
Let me ask you this, because I'm actually not well versed on how the scheduling works. You know, the Patriots, we talk about how they have had an easy schedule, but it's also because they've been a bad team in the past, right? And the bad teams that finish, they get to play the weaker division teams, right? So next year's Chiefs schedule is probably going to be a little more favorable, right?
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh, okay.
In 2026, obviously the Broncos and the Chargers are going to be tough. You got to play them 4 times.
Right.
The Raiders are a quarterback away, in my opinion. A quarterback and maybe some tweaks on the offensive line from being a pain in your behind. Maybe they won't be a playoff team, but they can be a tough out. If they can fix the quarterback position, maybe the coaching position as well, but that's neither here nor there. So the division is going to be tough, but they got to play the NFC West next year. So we're talking.
Was that the Cardinals, though?
I mean,
that's they play the whole NFC West.
NFC West. Cardinals, Niners, Rams, Seahawks. Not easy.
Yeah,
you got to go against the AFC East. So you're going to see Buffalo again. You're going to see Drake May for the first time. We'll see what happens with the Dolphins and
the Jets.
The Jets. Yeah, they might have a big problem. I like Aaron Glenn, but it's not a great start. They get to play they're going to finish with a third place schedule. I don't think the Raiders are going to pass them. So I'm going to assume the Chiefs are third place. So that means the Bengals come to town because I don't think the Browns are going to catch the Bengals and surpass them for third place. So that means you got to play the Bengals. And I think they get the 17th game is going to be against the third place NFC South team, which is going to probably be the Falcons, although the Saints have won 2 in a row. So they're only a game behind the Falcons. So again, you would think third place schedule. Oh, okay, cool. Nah, bro, they got some heaters to deal with. And I forgot about AFC South. You're probably going to get probably the Colts.
Yeah.
Again, and who knows what? They're a quarterback away, right? We already seen that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. You would think that a third place schedule would help them out, but it seems like it was the wrong season to not have Mahomes and have a third place schedule.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's I could still see them making the playoffs, but it just depends on who plays those first 8 games. I mean, if it's Gardner Minshew, I don't see you going better than 4-4.
4-4. That's not bad. That's not bad. Like, especially if you're getting Mahomes back. It just depends on how that schedule is stacking up at that point in time. First round pick for the Chiefs. You go offense or defense?
I go Jeremiah freaking Love. What are you talking about? Pick number 11. Get out of here. Like that. Trade up. What are we doing?
Listen. I care very much the team that Jeremiah plays for. If he ends up in Seattle, there might be a Celtic pride situation. I don't know if you remember the plot to Celtic pride, but a couple of crazed fans kidnapped Damon Wayans to keep him from playing in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I don't want to have to kidnap Jeremiah Love to keep him from going to Seattle. But I will have to. My thing as the leader of the Jeremiah Love fan club, outside of his immediate family, I am the number 1 person of this fan club. I just have some questions for Andy. Will you, before you draft my guy, are you going to commit to running the ball at least 15 times a game? Or are you going to get him at least 15 to 18 touches per game between pass and run. Because if you can do those things, are you going to run the ball from under the center? Or are you just going to do a bunch of RPO handoffs, shotgun handoff? If you can tell me you're going to actually utilize him like a real running back, you have my blessing. If you're not committed to those things, do not draft my boy. Do not draft my guy and then have people talk about him as a bust, respectfully.
Yeah, I know we talk about how the Cleveland is like quarterback hell, but man, I love how they use Quishon Judkins. Man, they put him in a great position. They like know what they got, and they're like, yeah, you're our guy.
We're giving them the ball. Now, Kevin Stefanski overdoes it because the whole Wildcat thing at the goal line kind of, listen, I'm not in the whole Shador, is being sabotaged thing, but like, come on, my guy. Like every time they get within the 2-yard line, you go to that Wildcat like it's the tush push. Yeah. And it's like, I wonder if someone in the Cleveland media asked him why he goes into that so heavily. I would say if Travis Kelce does retire, Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. I talked about how tight ends are being asked to do a little bit more blocking these days. He can do both. And not to say that Travis can't. I think Travis is an underrated blocker. But Kenyon Sadiq, I think one of the edge guys from Miami, whether it be Mazador or I think his last name is Ruben Bain.
Yeah, there's two of them, yeah.
One of those two would be really good. If you want to try to take a swing at right tackle, because I don't know if Jawan Taylor would be here last year, or linebacker. I think they need a linebacker badly. I think they need a linebacker. But I think if they can tread water and get to 500 and Mahomes is ready to play in October, absolutely. But if Mahomes is ready to come back, you need to have multiple doctors who say, like, it needs to be one of those 9 out of 10 doctors recommend type things because you don't want to sabotage your entire future. Mahomes is going to want to play, but you got to protect him from himself. Don't do anything stupid. All right, last thing we can get out of here because anything else you want to say about the Chiefs before we get ready to shut it down?
I really just still feel like they're going to win the Super Bowl, bro. I just think that there's
man, cut that Madden on, bro. They can still win. Cut that Madden on. I just want to real quick look at any interesting games we got coming up this week.
Well, on your meter, this game right here is one of them ones.
True. And the Rams, I believe, won the first matchup. I think it was 21-19 was the final score. Seahawks up 7-0 right now, close to the end of the first quarter. So who you got in this one? Even though it's already started, who you got?
I'm taking the Seahawks. I'm up 7.
Rams. I'm going to Rams this week. I'm going to go Rams this week. I still Sam Darnold. I got to see it to believe it.
They're both 11-3. This is a big game for the overall number 1 seed in the NFC and the division.
Yes. I want to say this about Kyle Shanahan. They're 10-4. They finish with the Browns. I'm sorry, the Bears this week. I forget there's another big game in between there, but I can't remember what it is. They close with the Seahawks. That much I do know. Hold on, let me see. Let me get this right. My point I was getting ready to make, if Kyle Shanahan ends up with 12 wins, I'm sorry, it's Colts, Bears, Seahawks. They have a slim chance at the number 1 seed. I think they need the Rams to actually beat the Seahawks, tonight. They have a slim shot at the number 1 overall seed and the division. If they somehow end up as a 12-win team, to me, Kyle Shanahan should be coach of the year. There have been teams who lost more players to IR, but I don't know if there's been a team who's lost as many key players to injury reserve as the Niners have. And I think it's been, to this point, it's the best coaching job Kyle Shanahan has done. And like I said, you're playing the Bears and the Seahawks. You're playing 3 potential teams who are fighting for playoff spots to close your season. If they win two out of those 3, to me, he should be coach of the year. He's not going to get it. It's going to go to Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, because or Sean Payton, right? Because it's a new story for those teams. But what that team has had to overcome. The funniest thing I saw about injury reserve is that like the Raiders have only lost like 4 guys to injury reserve. And somebody replied like, they played like this healthy all year long. Like that was the response to that. But yeah, let me keep
not to mention, he's finally starting to get Juwan Jennings the ball. 6 touchdowns in the last 6 games. Like, I mean, come on. Can we just put some respect on his name?
Jawan Jennings was not showing up for us early in the season. Key drops, missed blocking assignments.
Never
his
saw
head
it.
did not seem to be. Yeah. That's because that. Thank God for me. Thank God you got me watching every game for you. All right, so Packers and Bears. That's a huge game because the division is still up for grabs. Who you got?
I'm taking the Packers. I think big game. We'll see if the Bears are that team. I think they need to make a statement with that game, and I think I'm going to take the Packers.
By the way, Chiefs Titans at Tennessee. I'm going to take the Titans. The Chiefs should tank. I mean, go into an elegant tank. Everybody's banged up at this time of the season. Find a reason to sit Chris Jones. Don't bring back McDuffie. Yeah. If you lose out for a better draft pick. I got the Titans in that game.
Chiefs are going to run the ball 22 times with Kareem Hunt. Finally, they're gonna have a run heavy offense on Sunday.
Don't make me mad. I would be furious if he came out. Granted, they did run the ball. I think against it was the Colts. I think they ran it like 30 times.
Yeah.
But yeah. Jags and Broncos. That's a big game because the Jaguars, I believe, lead the division in the South. I think they only have 4 losses, and they have an outside, very, very, very slim shot at the number 1 seed. So who you got in that one? At Jacksonville, by the way.
I got Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville with the upset.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that would put them only a game back of the Broncos, and they would have the tiebreaker there. So yeah, all right. Are there any more interesting games here that we need to check?
Philly, Washington, not really.
No, we're good.
We already talked about the Christmas Day games next week, but yeah.
Steelers, Lions. That's probably the last one. Actually, there's one more. Steelers, Lions, and then one more.
I got the Lions.
I got the Steelers. I
don't believe in the Steelers at all.
I agreed, but somehow they just keep winning games. And I think you got to give a team credit when they continue to win games. They are 8-6. They've won 2 straight. They lead the Ravens by a game in the division. And that
we already know they're going to be 10-7. Like, we know that. We knew that before the year. So just have to look at their schedule and see what 2 games they're going to win.
They only need one more game to keep Mike Tomlin's streak of every season over 500 alive. Yeah. And then the final game that I want to talk about, well, actually 2 more. I lied. Patriots-Ravens, Sunday night.
At Baltimore, too, if I looked correctly.
Correct. Huge game for the Ravens. They got to keep their standing to make sure they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going to go Baltimore.
I'm going to go Baltimore as well. This is a big test for the Patriots. They haven't had too many big-name teams that they face this year, not knowing their schedule off the top of my head.
And this is probably like if you lose, you're out of the playoffs for the Ravens.
Probably. Yeah. They have to win out. I think they have to win out. I think they're in the same position that the Chiefs were in going into their last game. Yeah, I'm looking at who the Patriots have played, and I mean, boy, oh boy. I mean, yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. They actually lost to the Raiders. One of the Raiders' wins came against the Patriots. And the last game, it's Monday Night Football. It's 49ers at Colts. Shout out to Phillip Rivers. He did not die. He stayed alive.
I mean, we know who's going to win that game. Like, the Niners are going to win that game, and they're going to win that game big. The Colts, I was pretty shocked that the Colts stayed close with the Seahawks.
The Colts defense is good, though.
Yeah, they do have a good defense, but I just don't. I think the 49ers are going to win by double digits. Like, Phillip Rivers is going to be, it's all check downs. It's all like I'm gonna say 49ers win by double digits, and Rivers throws 2 picks.
I think you're doing that just to make me mad. I'm pretty sure this is going to end up in some parlay of yours, and I'm just going to be angry. I think it's going to be a closer game than you think because it is at home. They can run the ball. The Niners struggle to stop the run at times.
Not when you can just put 8 in the box and go man-to-man because the quarterback can't throw a back shoulder.
Yeah, but they're young at corner. Upton Stout, I think I saw they said during the game he's like either the third or second most penalized corner in the league. So, Renardo Green is young. They don't Diamador Lenore is their experienced guy, and he's really, really good, but you got to worry about the other guys. I think that game's going to be closer than you think. I think the Niners should win. I'm going to pick the Niners to win. See, I'm not doing the pessimist thing. Again, I told you I can be objective when I need to be objective. I think the Niners win, but I think it's going to be closer than you think.
Okay.
All right, and we are right at an hour. That was great timing. Perfect timing. That's been our show. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Please remember, you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, wherever you get the good podcast. Give us 5 stars, leave a comment. You can also check us out on YouTube. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can know whenever we go live or new content hits the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's them boys again. New this week in the NBA drops either this Monday or this Tuesday. Depends on how fast I can type and edit. And until next time, it's been a Black
and White
thing. Y'all be easy. Good night. Good night, JC. Appreciate it, man.
Night, y'all.